So what are you doing?
Well, I overheard that you're contemplating if procreation is selfish or not. So maybe I should start with explaining why we are standing here with a sign that says that procreation is selfish, and it's actually quite simple and self-explanatory. We can't do something for someone who doesn't exist. Meaning, when we are creating a person, we are necessarily doing it for our own sake. And we, I mean people who create a new persons. Obviously, we are not. We are against the creation of new people, against procreation, for more reasons, and this is one of them. We think it's selfish and necessarily selfish because, again, we can't do something for the benefit of someone who doesn't exist. There is no someone, so we are not doing anyone a favor.
So you are the anti-natalist.
Yeah, I'm an anti-natalist. I'm really glad you're the first person that really knows what the term is.
I know.
Yeah, you study philosophy or something, or?
I'm interested in.
Oh, right, great. That's nice. So yeah, we are anti-natalists, and we are doing an anti-natalism outreach. In fact,
why next to this tree?
Well, the honest answer is it's by chance. We didn't plan it. However, you have to see that there is some connection between, a tree that was cut and at least that sign.
Yeah.
So, and obviously there is at least one important environmental aspect against procreation, even though it's not necessarily, because you know what antinatalism is. I don't need to explain to you. It's a moral position, it's a moral view against procreation, not necessarily from environmental aspect, but the environmental aspect is there, and it's also important. Okay. But even if there were, we didn't have an overpopulation problem or a climate crisis or other environmental issues, we would still think that it's wrong to put someone else in harm's place. We'd still think that it's wrong to create someone in a dangerous and violent and unfair world. And
but it was always like that. The world was always unfair.
It was always wrong. This is not a counter argument. It was always wrong.
But if you give a birth to someone who will be right and
will be what? I will be a good person.
Good person.
So why not you become the good person that you want to create? You can be the good person. You can do activism, or you can donate for charities, and you can convince others to do that. You can convince others to be good people. You can be a teacher and educate children to be good people. You don't have to create a new person. You can choose to be a good person by your own. You can never guarantee that the person you create will actually be a good person. He can be a villain. He can be a very bad person, or he can be miserable.
Yes, but if
there is no guarantee.
If the parents are good, there is a high probability that.
Well, first of all, again, you can never guarantee the happiness of your child. That your child, even if the parents are great, your child can be very miserable, and you can guarantee that your child will be a very good person. I'll give you an example that I'll give to many people, and ask a question. Do you know how many vegans are in the world?
Villains?
No, vegans.
Vegans. Don't know.
The answer is less than 2%, meaning only less than 2%. More than 98% of the human population chooses every day to harm other animals. So it's quite hard to be a really good person, and I'm vegan for more than 20 years, and I'm causing a lot of harm to other animals as well, because I have to wear clothes, I have to wash my clothes, and I eat in a plant-based diet, and the plant-based diet also harms, unproportionately. It's much less worse than an animal-based diet, obviously, but it's still harmful. So even I'm trying to do my best, I'm still harming others, because people are causing a lot of suffering. It's inevitable, it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Each of one is a little unit of causing harm to others. So I think we shouldn't create more humans, and we should be the best people we can once we're already here, once we exist. We should do our best with the life that we got, but not create new lives. That's the point. That's the answer to being a good person.
Can you explain about the tree? I didn't hear.
The tree is.
It's a good sign to be.
I agree. It's by chance. We didn't pick it in a particular reason. I was just telling them that there is some kind of connection, because the environmental aspect of creating new people is very important, very significant, and so it's a kind of a symbolic gesture. But no, it wasn't intentional. Yeah. Well.
But are you a member of a specific organization or it's just by
No,
yourself?
it's some independent activists, as I said, anti-natalists. It's against procreation. It's a moral opposition to creating new people, to procreation. Yeah, and the idea is quite new. It's not there for a long time now. However, it's starting to get bigger and bigger, and more people are getting to know that there are people who are against procreation for several reasons, as I mentioned. And yeah, and I guess that the instability that the world is reaching at due to climate crisis, for example, which will cause probably more wars and more conflicts and fights over resources, more and more people will realize that it's really unfair and the world is very violent, dangerous, and unstable. So it's morally wrong to create people in this kind of world.
But the problem is that it's in our nature that we want to give birth, like to.
Right, but
How can we resist on this?
well, I resisted. He resisted. And
You can do it, but you don't know.
anyone, you don't have to. You have to sleep. You have to eat. You have to drink. That's it.
Are you sure?
And you
Because
have to
women,
take
maybe
some of the things that you eat and drink outside of your body. That's the only thing that you really biologically need. Any other thing you don't really need, not need in a literal sense, you know? You don't have to create a new person. You choose to create a new person. I know it's, very a biological, well, we are structured biologically to create new people, but we are structured for that. We have the relevant organs, but it doesn't mean that we have to choose to do that. We can choose not to use these reproductive organs, right? For example, we have reproductive organs and we have an impulse to have sex. But we are not morally allowed to have sex as much as we want and whenever we want. What? Right? We have to ask for permission. We are expecting consent. And I think the same goes for any other decision that impacts others. For example, create a new person, because this is the most crucial decision in another person's life. You know. My friend gives an example, like if you enter in the coffee shop and would it be reasonable for someone to get in to like shove the person who was first in line and says to the counter, he will have a latte? Of course not, because it's not your place to have a decision for someone else. And this is only ordering a coffee. It's not creating a new person. Which is,
Yeah, I have to go, but.
okay, thank you for the conversation. Thank you. Thank you very much.